This is the Gaza Strip in green here. This is the map for you to understand where the area looks like. When we look at the Gaza Strip, there are a number of hospitals, specifically maternity and children's hospital as well, and they have now become the flashpoint. Rantisi Children's Hospital that I'm talking about here, this is the Gaza City area. That is where the tunnels maze have been shown, where according to the IDF, hostages were kept. They have found evidence to know that there were, at least some time ago, there were some hostages and children who are being kept there. Al-Shifa Hospital is one of the main places, according to the IDF, where the Hamas commanders and Hamas operations are. And they know that a hospital will not be targeted. If it is targeted, the death toll, the heartbreaking images that will surface will clearly work against the IDF. So these are number of hospitals, including Al-Quds, the premises around where we saw the precision strikes that take place. According to IDF, they know that there are Hamas areas here. They've been requesting and urging the patients and the hospitals to try and move, try and evacuate, but many have said that they're unable to do so. It's not easy to evacuate from the hospitals too. So this has now become the fresh flashpoint for the toughest operation that the IDF says they have enough evidence to know, and even the USA has given out a statement to say they know about Hamas that does operate from underneath these hospitals. I want to go across now to Gaurav Sawant on that. Gaurav, let's talk about the ground operation. When we talk of a ground offensive of that nature, and the world is watching, but they know that Israelis and not just Israelis, there are Americans, there are other nationalities and ethnicities also who are held hostage, over 240. How does a ground operation of this nature work? How difficult? To tell us about the operational measures that are absolutely not easy for any force to take when the world's eyes are on you.
So Israel says their aim is to decimate the Hamas, and they will do this. What we call in Hindi, Samdam Dandbhed. They intend to do that, and that's exactly how they're moving forward, by hook or by crook. Their aim is to decimate Hamas. They're moving forward. It's an air and land operation that's currently underway. For a week plus, they used artillery and air to soften the targets, ask people to move to safer areas. Anyone who's in north of Gaza or in Gaza City is seen as hostile, unless, of course, they put out that white flag and want a safe corridor. Israeli army says they still provide that the safe corridor for people to escape. And then they're getting into these tunnels to decimate Hamas. They're getting closer to Al-Shifa Hospital, the command and control structure. So they have intelligence operations, electronic intelligence. They have the best weapons and systems, precision-guided munition to target those windows and doors or tunnels and shafts from where the fire comes in. And it's a multi-pronged offensive. You have your engineer units that clear the area and clear the mines. You have the armored columns that move in. Then you have the infantry and the special forces that move in with drones and fighter jets and attack helicopters keeping an eye on every movement. And yet they've had close to 50 fatalities. About 50 Israeli soldiers have made the supreme sacrifice of their lives. More than 200 have already been injured and evacuated. So this operation will be painstaking. It will continue and will continue for a long time. This is just phase one. There will be a phase two, which is consolidation. First is getting into that territory. Second is consolidating and preparing for counterattacks. And third, of course, then would be whether they stay or some UN force or some Arab League force comes in. That remains to be seen.
All right, very interesting. Gaurav Sawant telling us about a very different operation, and at a time, remember, specifically to ensure that the human casualties remain at its lowest, because Hamas will want to use them as human shields.